we're playing Final Fantasy 15 right now, and we're about to infiltrate Fort Voray and fight the third um, major boss encounter in the game, which will be Aranea Highwind, which is actually a pretty good fight. The other two is actually, believe it or not, to me, Aranea is actually kind of like the fourth boss encounter, where the other two would probably be, the other three is obviously Titan, would be the third
Gas stations
boss fight, and
wherever you go.
here, I have a better idea, I'll show you, because if people don't know what's really considered bosses, then I'm not going to include optional bosses, that doesn't count, and that's why I don't count Deadeye. That's why she's considered the third boss, but she's really actually the fourth boss, because Deadeye is an optional boss, although I wouldn't really consider him optional. Even though he's a hunt, he's not really. If anything, he's actually the second main boss of the game. He's either second main boss or third, depending on which order you go in, because if you decide to obtain the chocobos and fight Deadeye after Titan, then he would be considered the third boss. But as far as major bosses go, I would really say Aranea is really the second, no? I mean, the major boss fights in the game begin with Titan, I would say. But in all due respect, I have to include Deadeye, because behemoths are not common beasts. They are not. You will not fight them very often. But Magitech armor is very common. You will fight them a lot. So, to me, they're like Nagas. They're like bosses, but eh. Whereas Deadeye, he was definitely a boss. He even has a unique name and everything, you know? There's something special about him. And it's, I don't know, it could be argued that the Naga is a boss. Technically it is set up as a boss, but it, you know, because it does have storyline to it about my baby and stuff like that. Anyway, I'm just going to show you the bosses, because you can generally get snaps of the boss encounters. Oh, let's go with the first boss encounter of the game, just to line this up with everybody here. First boss encounter that we get into is actually with M.A. Velas, I believe, or Commander Loki Tumult, and that's briefly after meeting with the Man of No Consequence. And it would be over hither. But there are optional bosses, so I will also point those out. This is an optional boss that you might encounter in lead. Maybe. Sometimes Bandersnatch is hanging out near Hammerhead region, in like the Weaver Wilds area, I think. Maybe not though, I don't know. It's in like a pool, like a sand bowl pit near the, I don't know. You probably know what I'm talking about. It's near Hammerhead. Let's put it that way. Lead isn't that big, so it's like a pit, and sometimes you'll find a Bandersnatch there. That's like in the level 30s, I think. But that's an optional boss. Same thing with the Kujata, that's an optional boss. This is a mini boss, the Arachne. That was sort of the introduction to tombs and like demons and such. First time I actually had to fight them. So this is like considered an optional boss. And from then on, you'll fight your first main boss, which is this. And the reason this is a main boss is because it actually has a primary photo, which means Like, you'll always get this photograph. This photograph is always taken, like almost all the time. You will not ever not get this photo. This photo is a photo that gets taken every time because it's a boss fight. But that's not true with Aranea, actually. Well, no, I'm sorry, it is. There is one photo with her. So this is the first boss encounter, and this is the Commander Loki, Commander Tumult, and that's what he looks like. And that's also when you get freedom. So this is technically the first boss encounter. We fight with Core. Then the second boss encounter generally would be the like Deadeye. Like I said, you'll always get this picture, always. So that's why Deadeye to me is considered the second main boss, regardless of it being an optional. You know, even though it is a side quest, it really isn't a side quest. It really shouldn't have been a side quest. It should have been a main quest. So that whole thing is silly. It's just ridiculous. I don't even know why they made it a side quest. It really isn't a side quest. I mean, you do have to unlock. I think you do. I think you have to get the chocobos eventually, yeah. If you don't, you'd be a fucking idiot. No offense, but you would be. But yeah, so that indicates it being a main boss. All primary major boss encounters will have snapshots. Specific snapshots. So this is the second that's the second major boss. So Magitech MAX Veles, I think, or Curas. And then Deadeye. And then after Deadeye would be the first Astral, which would be Titan. Unless you decide to take on an optional, you could take on an optional boss, which is the Kujata, which is pretty hard. This is also another mini boss, which is another MA down here, right here. But it's just a minor, it's just a mini boss, not really a main boss. Let's see what else here. So I'll show you the next primary boss. Oh, that's another one, right? I forgot about that. This is also another optional boss that you can take. To me, though, this is the boss of the Glacial Grotto. Is technically Midgarsholmer, but you don't have to fight him. You can. He just guards. He's guarding the path into the Grayshire Grotto. I just call it the glacial, the ice cave. Grayshire, the entrance to Grayshire, or the cave behind the waterfall, because it's a tongue twister. Grayshire Glacial Grotto, it's a fucking pain in the ass to say, is guarded by a Midgarsholmer, and that thing is a fucking powerful opponent, similar to that of the Kujata. So that's the other optional boss you can take out on the field, but doesn't count as a main boss. There's always optional bosses. The next main boss is him, Titan, wherever he is, somewhere around here. Because there really is no boss in Grayshire Grotto unless you consider Mind Flayer as a boss. I mean, they're not really a boss. But you'll get this photo all the time of the Archean being cleansed of the Scourge and being taken into Noctis's, repertoire. He hands his power over to Noctis, and also in turn, is recovered from the Star Scourge. Because I don't know if you're aware, but the astrals are inflicted with the Scourge. I actually put that together myself. I put one and one together, and I realized that the astrals are actually, their minds are a little twisted. They're not all with it, the astrals. They're a little twisted because their minds are, well, number one, they're weakened because of the Scourge. So they were sleeping because the Star Scourge, you know, they're basically sick. And so they're fucking very fucked up and aren't thinking very clearly. And thus, the Oracle had to waken them. Because they were sleeping until the time came. But they've been waiting a long time as the Scourge continued to fester on their star. Which obviously is going to affect the protectors of the star. And that's why you look at Titan, and if you summon Titan already, you could clearly see the difference. I mean, it's like day and night. You could see that he's clearly got, you know, he looks all fucked up, and he has the same look as the blessings that Lunafreya does when she performs the healing upon the afflicted of the Scourge. It's that exact same look that the Oracle can heal from the afflicted. When Lady Lunafreya heals people afflicted with the Star Scourge, it's a golden stars like substance, just like that. A golden, like golden sprinkle ray event, like ethereal rainbow, like that, like a bunch of yellow fireflies. So, yep, that's, and you can just tell. Look at Titan. You could see he's being cleansed of the Scourge. Just take a look when, and you should even do some research on it yourself if you want, because also, why do you think Leviathan is so fucked up? Most of the astrals have been affected by the Scourge. I'm not the only one who knows about that. With the Star Scourge, it's pretty obvious. Like, and if you see Bahamut, he's by far one of the ones who looks the most like a Star Scourge fuck. I mean, I don't want to spoil anything, but, you know. Yeah, I'm not gonna spoil anything actually, but you will kind of not really ever figure it out unless you just put one and one together. You have to play episode Arden to find out who the true big bad is in this game. I mean, the antagonist and the big bad villain, you know, are two different things. Like in, it's weird though, because in Final Fantasy VI, the big bad villain really was Sid, but because Kefka was really just a experiment gone wrong, so you could really just say that the villain in that game was the Warring Triad. Like, it was weird. 6 didn't really have a big bad villain. It just had Kefka. And Kefka does have a backstory, but it wasn't in the game. Like, it's not that the people do, like you know, like demons, but they are affected by it, by the Star Scourge. Ifrit has been what do you call it, corrupted with, you know, he was demonized. He was actually demonized by, you know, Arden. So he actually got turned into a demon. So there is a difference. I'm talking about the regular astrals are, they're not demons, they're just infected. They're infected by the Star Scourge just because of being saviors of the star. Anyway, I'm getting a little off topic, but yeah, I don't want to talk about too much of the game's story. I'd like to see a nice re-release of this game, though, with the story all put together properly, because it's not bad. So yeah, this is the next boss. So yeah, you could I mean, it's again another example of a mini boss, though. So we're gonna put Aranea again. She was really the third major boss fight. And I'm sorry, she's the fourth major boss fight. If you count Deadeye. If you don't count Deadeye, then she's the third major boss fight. So without further ado, let's
that one looks more like
get
the
ready.
Gas station that time forgot.
Look a tad out of place in the Crown City.
Gotta love that smell though, right?
So Aranea is uniquely vulnerable to stop, but it's not going to do you much good unless you have something to immune stop by way of accessory, because if you exploit it, you probably will end up stopping yourself in the process. But she does have an unusual vulnerability to frozen stat, which is interesting because she's immune to every other element. Well, not immune, but she is resistant towards it. She can't be infected.
The High Commander insisted that the late King Regis gifted him with the glaive as a gesture of goodwill before the signing, denying claims it was taken as a spoil of war afterward, with armistice talks.
She's a pretty fun boss. She has a powerful attack. She's only level 26, but I'm actually doing a restriction run playthrough. So therefore, level / item restriction, you know, a level / item limit, I guess, restriction game playthrough. So basically this playthrough has me scaling out my XP up to level 50 by chapter 14, and I'm not allowed to exceed level 50 because doing so would therefore, you know, it would just be, that's the goal anyway. The challenge is to beat the game at level 50, while I've implemented a number of rules with my restrictions, such as the system of how you use items. You can't just outright use items. You have to actually, you know, wait for a tech bar to fill up when you use items.
There you are. Kenny and I have been waiting for you.
Like, for example, when one tech bar fills, you can use an item. You can use a potion or a high potion. Phoenix stands can be used at any time, but you can only use a maximum number of 10 of them in a battle.
Ah, hankering for information.
Originally I was going to limit it to 9, but
like
I decided to make it 10. Because I'm not trying to make the game impossibly hard, I just want to make it challenging enough to be fun. And not item spamming, you know? And that's the way you do it. Also, I put in place a good rule of thumb where anybody who is in danger state has to be rescued prior to even being able to use items on them. So in other words, you can't use items on anybody who has fallen into danger. They first have to be rescued, so you have to make sure that they don't fall into danger state.
Anything
So
tickle
it
your
kind of
fancy?
adds a little bit of an edge to the game's combat system, putting you more on your, you know, having you, I guess, sort of, I guess I want to say, keeping you on your toes and having you utilize the game's mechanics, so you're actually playing the game the way it was intended to be played.
Come back soon.
As
Kenny's
opposed
waiting
to,
for you.
as opposed to just spamming items. Items are really like a last resort. So therefore, like I said, when you're using items, the way I went to do it was hard for me to figure it out, but then I decided to do potions and high potions. Potions can be used basically anytime you want. High potions, you have to wait till we get 1 tech bar. Elixirs, you have to have 2 tech bars. And then high elixir, you'll have to have 3 tech bars. When it fills to 3 technique bars. So there's a little bit of math involved, but it's really not hard to figure out. When you have 3 tech bars, in general rule of thumb. So in other words, you can use high elixirs only while your technique bar is at 3. After it's used, you have to wait again. So think of the technique bar as an item, oh, what do you call it? A cooldown. A cooldown. Think of it as an item cooldown. Something to guide you on how to use items properly. Go by the tech bar. Definitely, that's what I've been doing. Because it's actually a really good idea. The tech bar is, like I said, potions can be used anytime, really. But you can only carry a maximum of, at any time, 30 potions. 30 potions for each, which is enough potions. That's more than enough. More than enough potions for everybody. You dig? Definitely a good amount of potions. I did it where I did 30 potions, 25 high potions, 20 elixirs, 15 high elixirs, and 10 Phoenix Downs. Where obviously the main thing is Phoenix Downs. Now Phoenix Downs can be used at any time, but you can't exceed the number of 10. You have to keep it at 10. If you ever have more than 10, you have to sell them. It's just a way or use them as catalysts. And I've had a much better playthrough so far, playing it like this. And the way I just, came up with this was just, I actually came up with it, as I went along, and I realized how an item charge could be implemented through self-control and limitation. Mainly self-control, obviously. But also through just some little nifty ideas I implemented on my own just from the game's system and mechanics. For example, like the technique bar. The tech bar that you have, the green tech bar, should also be used to judge items as well. Why not? I mean, it makes sense. Definitely makes sense, right? Makes sense. So like,
Surprised to see him this far out. Leave no plot of land unconquered.
Those aren't conquering numbers.
Likely building a supply
Let's pick
line
this
it would
treasure chest
behoove
up.
us to cut.
But yeah, I just been kind of eager to talk about this playthrough I've been doing because it's actually really really balanced. Actually, you know, the playthrough is
Looks the same as
balanced
before.
Looks can be deceiving.
because
We
you're
beat 'em
always
once.
scaling
They
yourself
won't
with
make
the
it easy
you
this
know
time.
And neither will we.
your level. You're always scaling it out with basically the game's enemies levels. If anything, the enemies are a little higher level than you. The way I look at it is don't level up to about 25, between 25 to 30, then equip an experience band onto your characters and hold on to that until you make it to Altisha, until you depart for Altisha, and then take it off and then go to Altisha, and when you get there you'll be about like level 40 something, I think, maybe. And I have an experience chart. So if you've allocated about, like, so for my example, I have how much? 230 experience. So I'll probably hit level 43 if I take off the Nick experience band. But like I said, the way I've been playing is I focus a lot more on AP rather than XP, because AP is a lot more important in my style of play. I also, again, like I said, have a strict item policy usage. I have a totally different rule on how items are used, by basically limiting the supply of how many items are available to you, and restrictions on how, you know, on how you execute items and when you can use an item. For example, if you use a high elixir, you can only use one on one target. You can't use it on two. For example, if two people are fucking in low health, you have to wait. I'll get into a battle and show you exactly what I mean. I'll give you an example of how I play this game now. But I realized, you know, it's the best way to play it by far. You use the tech bar to judge when you can use items. You always rely on rescue first. Then, right, in other words, items are locked for the person that is in danger until being rescued, alongside the specific amount of tech you would need filled in order to execute certain items like high potions, elixirs, and high elixirs. With the exception of potions and phoenix downs, which can be used basically at any time, really. But again, every item can only be used after one segment of the tech bar has been filled. So in other words, you use an item, then you have to wait until the segment of the... So you're going to have to use your techniques, basically, or else you're not going to be able to, because you'll be stuck at 3. And if you've already used an item, then... Not counting, obviously, Mega Phoenixes, you can only use one of those in a battle. Where the hell is the damn, chocobo thingy? That's what I'm looking for. We don't really need it, but I'm gonna grab it anyway. Okay, gear... Let's gear up for this fight, too. Impulse is something you'll probably want to get right away, as early as possible. It's a really good skill. For Aranea. And if you're playing with a level and item restriction policy or challenge, or whatever you want to call it, I would definitely advise using fanfare. That's one thing though, I did not ban accessories. You can use any accessories you want. Basically, you're free to use any accessory. All accessories are open, including the tech turbocharger if you need it. Anything really. You can use any accessory you want. Alright, Lightning Crest, Celestiad, including the Key of Prosperity if you need it, but you get plenty of money anyway. So, I have placed some limitations on weapons, but not too much, really. Because there's really no need. Primarily, I've only placed restrictions on using the ultimate items, ultimate weapons, such as the Genji Blade, which is Ignis's signature weapon. The Spelldaggers, the Genji Blade is Gladio's signature weapon. Spelldaggers are Ignis's signature weapon, and the Lionheart is Prompto's signature weapon. Now, the signature weapons can and should only be used after playing through their scenarios, aka chapters, or episodes, which are technically scenarios. I consider them scenarios because they're basically chapters in the story. Like the next chapter coming up after this is actually Gladiolus scenario. Gladiolus's scenario. Gladio's scenario. And then after having done that, you'll then be able to have access to the Genji Blade. But until then, it's sealed away. You cannot use it. And he should never be allowed to equip the Mutant Rakshasa Blade. It's basically not... It's really not for him. So that's one item that you can't use. Well, it's one item if you want to have any lick of sense, you don't use it. Because that's a late game item, the Mutant Rakshasa Blade. You really don't get that until, well, after you played through, after the crystal. After you, like late game, late game, the Mutant Rakshasa Blade. So that item is off limits until completing episode Arden, which would be Arden Scenario, which is actually 30 years prior to Noctis's journey. Anyway, so let's see, we're gonna get ready to do Aranea. So to do Aranea, she is vulnerable to ice. That's a good thing, but I wouldn't. So she can be hit with frozen, but she cannot be hit with other things, such as which is interesting. She can't be inflicted with burn or what do they call it? Is it called electrified? Or shock. Shock, right. Shocked, or she can't be shocked or burned, but she can be frozen. You can inflict frozen on her. So she is vulnerable to frozen, so that is an interesting thing, and therefore I'm gonna have him use Blizzaga. So I don't really know why, but Aranea actually is vulnerable to frozen, and she also is very vulnerable to stop. But the thing is, using it you'd want to have probably accessories for stop on all your characters, because more likely than not, you'll end up stopping your own characters and doing so. It's not worth it. Frozen in itself is like stop, kind of. Alright, so with my restrictions in play, I'm gonna go to camp real quick. I could just go back and forth though, and we're gonna head on over there. Let's go to return to rest point, and then I just return to car. Just a quick way to get around town. So again, I think playing with these restrictions makes the game more balanced. You know, a level and item restriction is definitely wise. You know, I feel like there was supposed to be an item restriction or a cooldown, but they decided not to.
Camp?
Yep, that's why we're here. You know, like, it just seems a little weird, like, the whole rescue system, though. I mean, the way I do it is
Camping.
nobody,
Well, you got a problem with camping?
you can't just use items, you know, and you can't just hold an unlimited number of items. I try to make it, you know, where it's balanced, and I've been doing it where rescue always has to come first. If somebody falls into dangerous state, you're supposed to rescue them first. It makes you, I don't know, it puts you into the combat more, and it makes you understand the mechanics and puts you on, I guess I don't know, it's fun, you know, it's just, like, it's more fun if you have to rely on your teammates. It is what was intended, I think, believe it or not, but for some reason, I guess they feared the, you know, the fact that they, you know, it's a big departure from, you know, the ATB, let's put it that way. So I guess they felt, you know, it could be a big turnoff to people who played Final Fantasy games. So they decided to, you know, let people use items, but if you're wise enough, just use the tech bar as a guideline. That's what I do as well. I go by 2 rules. Danger stat, that means you have to rely on rescue. And secondly, most importantly, is you always go by the technique bar on how many items you should be able to use and what kind of items you can use. And most importantly is Phoenix Downs. Never have more than 10, which is a good number. That's 3 per character, and 1 extra one for good faith. Or you can hold less if you want, but, you know, it's just a, you know, much better way to play, I found. Anyway, what should I equip? Let's see. Aranea doesn't do anything special, except she can slam you with her Highwind attack, but it's also a good opener. So we don't need any poison proof. I'm working on impulse. You know what? I'm gonna eat a gorilla sandwich. Is good. I think his favorite is actually better than technician. So I'll go with Carol Greens. And yeah, Aranea doesn't inflict any status inflictions. And I don't even really think she's not really that hard, even if you are level, you know, I mean, if you don't have an experience band on or not doing an item level restriction, you probably are a very high level, because they tend to give shitloads of XP in this game. It was sort of an imbalance. They really should have been giving AP for those driving missions and shit. Like, there's a lot of like extra side quests where really it should be AP that you should be getting, not XP. I have no idea why they've been giving us XP all this time. Like, there's enough shit to give us XP. Like, maybe they could have did like hunts give you XP, and side quests other than hunts will give you AP, like for Viv, Sonya, especially those driving missions. I was surprised that you don't get like 5 AP for that instead of getting like fucking 200. I don't need all this XP. Too much XP. I mean, I already have a level chart. I have 230,000 experience. I'm already gonna hit level 43. That's high. I mean, that's pretty fucking high. And they expect me to, and that's how I know that there were restrictions that they just decided to, you know, they let it go. So to put your own restrictions on. They expect you to be level, let's see. You know what, I'm not even gonna do it. I'm not gonna rant on that. Just forget it. Forget it.
Let's go.
It's just funny because it's like, what level do they expect you to be right now? It's just weird. Like, I mean, the recommended level is like 15, and then it's like, you're fighting enemies that are like level 40 sometimes. It's just like wacky. I just find myself baffled sometimes at the at the situation. It's just like, what level do they expect me to be? I'm saying to myself, like, you expect me to be level, I mean, what level do you think I am right now? Oh man. But yeah, the whole XP AP thing is a real situation. Let's just take the Chocobo there. If you've been using Chocobo, should be fast enough to get there just as the Regalia. Until you could boost the Regalia to 70 miles per hour.
It's a little chilly.
Yeah.
I'm also doing a playthrough to implement the chapters with the scenarios. Like, you're supposed to play, I actually found out Gladiolus is apparently the next chapter of this game. And that was a pain in the ass too. I would have preferred that they actually put them in the game, but I know why that happened. That they had to postpone it for release reasons and shit. But I could see there being a re-release, and they'll have all the episodes probably in the game. Still a standalone, but implemented into the game from the main game, not the main menu of the game. You know what I'm saying? So I'm pretty sure we'll see that eventually, because it's gonna get a re-release. This game will definitely get a re-release, only because of the fact that it's pretty much got a name as big as Final Fantasy 1, and it has a similar story to it as well. You know, the franchise is about to go under prior to this game. 13 was sort of, no offense to 13 fans out there, I'm not a huge fan of 13, but it wasn't terrible. I wasn't a big fan of it. Didn't like the fact that there was a lot of things I didn't like about it. There were a lot of things I did like about it, but a lot of the things I did not like about it. I just want to stress that. I did not like the fact that we had an old man pedophile priest guy as a main villain. That just didn't bode well with me. Didn't like it. I didn't need the Pope to be an antagonist. Until later we find out it's actually Bunivels. Well, Bunivels who's actually the main villain, but technically in 13, the main antagonist is an old dude who turns out to be a big gigantic fucking box man. A big box. It's a big, I don't know what he was. He was a big fucking box. Like a big box. With a bunch of hands and teeth and shit.
We'll meet again.
A big talking box. A big block Big block monster. Bartandos. But first he was an old man. I don't know why he chooses the guise of an old man, which is interesting. Geisley or Deisley, whatever. But I really felt that Jill Nabaa or Yag Roche could have played a better villain or antagonist, in fact. Not. Jesus. I mean, Deisley? Why would they make him the antagonist with the frickin' Rook and the Minerva thing? Following the party around. He, like, pretty much fits the pedophile profile. The pedophile Pope. It probably was the worst antagonist I've ever seen in a Final Fantasy. No offense. Now, as a story as a whole, Final Fantasy 13 isn't bad. In fact, it's pretty unique. I think going into a place like Cocoon and shit, that's pretty wild. It was just a big letdown that you couldn't actually explore such a unique ecosystem. Just imagine yourself in a cocoon, you know, where the sky is in... Think of the world, right? But inside out. That's pretty awesome. I mean, I'd love to see that. I think the concept of their team is fucking awesome. I just think a lot of the way they did it, executed it, was terrible. Way worse than the way they executed 15. 15 definitely had its struggles, and it still definitely has a scattered story, but overall, it's got a pretty solid experience. And not lying. I mean, I've had, there's numerous cutscenes that are 10 times better,
Thanks, buddy.
or much more memorable than I can ever recall for 13. And that's just being honest. For example, I don't think 13 has anywhere close to a scene with Daisley where Arden reveals himself. For a spoiler alert real quick, I will, real quick just want to say, multiple scenes. I mean, this game introduced probably one of the better antagonists in the entire franchise. So, I have to even put him up there with Kefka, because at least they actually explain his backstory, whereas Kefka, they didn't. I mean, I know it, but you actually have to look it up in the Ultimania, and he's also a poor sob that got fucked. He lost his psyche due to an experiment. He wasn't just a psychotic, nihilistic bastard. He was actually an Empire devotee. He was devoted Imperial. Pretty smart guy, who had somewhat of like a relationship and a student with Celeste Share from Final Fantasy VI, and that's why I know for a fact that Celeste is the protagonist of the game, and Terra is sort of like the, I guess the eyes of the group. Terra is like, how do I put it? Is like you, is like the person playing. Just like Vivi or Vaughn, Ratsbane. Like, they always have an avatar character. And I guess they utilized Terra as that person. But as the story develops, if you really pay attention, you'll realize, well, yeah, it's obvious. It's obviously Celeste. If Kefka's the antagonist, then obviously Celeste has to be the protagonist, because who would be the foil to Kefka? That would be the protagonist. Am I wrong, or am I wrong? I'm pretty sure I am right. I don't think I'm wrong. If it's the, the protagonist and the antagonist, like for example, the antagonist in this game is obviously Arden, but that doesn't mean he's the primary villain, because he's not. I'm not gonna say who the primary villain is, but he's not the primary villain. He's not the big bad, let's put it that way. Like Kuja is an example of antagonist, but not the big bad. Big bads are not really antagonists, they're generally just the big bad. Simply putting that they're the big time scumbags that are the reason why things are so fucked up. Or generally just are scumbags, who do fucked up things. Or have fucked up methods. In this game, it's very similar to 9, I'll just say that much. But that's all I'll say. So if you played 9, then you may know what I'm getting at.
No big deal.
Always try to get AP, it's always quick to do this. You could try to aim for finesse, but I'm not gonna bother right now. Just kill these fuckers. So see how like your tech bar fills up? Oh, get out of there. The tech bar fills, you just simply go by the tech bar. Potions, you can use them anytime you need to, unless somebody's in danger, then they can't use items. Just remember that. I've just been utilizing the system, and it's been working a lot better. I've had a much better experience overall, all around so far. It's been so much better than any other playthrough I've ever had. I mean, hands down. And also knowing that each character is kind of basically like a different chapter, and knowing when to start them has also helped a shit ton. Knowing that they give you way too much experience is something really helpful, because I don't want to be over leveled. I want to have a challenge. I kind of examined that, they give you tons of XP, but
This sounds like you're
realistically,
having fun.
they don't give you enough AP. Like, for example, there are things that cost tons of fucking AP that realistically need to be opened sooner. If they would have scaled the levels right, which you can do now, they give you the option. Accessory slots, for example, 333. Now, there are quick ways we can go about doing this. One of the best ways, though, is just to fish. Just grab this. You can catch tide groupers. That's what I got. I did get the ability. And the reason I got it, this ability here, where is it? I would highly recommend getting it this way. Because sport fishing will then make fishing not just give you 1 AP every fucking time. You can get up to like 13 AP. So it's definitely worth it. I mean, that's a lot of AP. Or you can then waste your time in the fucking Weaver Wilds and warp kill saber tusks, but I would rather, for a measly 1 AP, I think I would rather not do that. I'd rather go ahead and just fish, you know, to get a whopping 13 or at least 6 AP per shot. It's just better. I think we have to go to Overlook over here. The Overlook overlooks the entire. There's another Overlook over that way, but that's not where we have to go. It's over here. I love Aranea though. She is awesome. Is also considered the 3rd or 4th boss, major boss. Because Deadeye is weird. Deadeye is definitely considered a major boss, but all major bosses, by the way, all have photographs, if you hadn't noticed. Like, look what we got. Surprise, surprise.
Let's move. Yeah. No.
I don't care.
Mercy. You're on fire today.
What can I say?
You know what really helps if you do want to get link strikes, though? Use Star Shell. Disorientation is helpful. Bosses, though, are immune to it, so don't expect it to work. But they get disoriented, and it really helps. Watch. See? Shield bash, link strike. But it missed, and that's sometimes you have to worry about. So link strikes are interesting because there's a lot of different link strikes that have a lot of different effects.
None the worse for
I'm making a list as we speak right now. I'm not finished with it, but one particular out of the 32 link strikes that there are, which is a fucking big number, there's different hit rates, there's different critical rates, there's different break rates. Generally the damage modifier though is the same. Damage modifier is 1.5, but different weapon damage types. So there's tons and tons of different outcomes. For example, there's a lot of link shots. The most powerful ones that you can get is using Prompto's. Like for example, here's an interesting one. Prompto's Overload link strike, right? He has an overload blind-sided link strike, which his machinery overloads his energy, like basically recoil. It inflicts burn status, and can also inflict burn status to people around you. There's also another thing with Prompto where you can inflict stop with using a spear.
Find the base commander and take him into custody.
So definitely learn about blind sides. And you can also invulnerable to damage during a blind strike.
Into 2 groups of 2. Prompto and
Important to know
will generate a diversion.
for well, combat.
Knocked? Are you prepared?
It helps a lot when you're fighting really hard enemies. If you've seen any of my other videos, I went up against really powerful foes, and blind sides helped me so much, and techniques. But blindside strikes, link strikes, they help so much because you get invulnerability for about, I don't know, a couple of, well, I know for a strike, link strike, you get it during the interim of the link strike. Same thing for Tempest. But for techniques, it's only during the onset of the technique, not during the offset. So At the beginning of the technique, not during the finish. But at the beginning of the technique, you are invulnerable to damage. Anyway, I've been blabbering. We are going up against Aranea Highwind. Considered the third major boss in the game. So, without further ado, let's begin the infiltration on Fort Vlore.
Operation To Catch a Commander is go.
Yeah. But we're gonna be meeting with not a commander, but a commodore. Well, we're gonna catch the commander, but that guy's a fucking idiot. He's like a goblin. He's a goblin douchebag. What does that impudent stewardess think he's up to anyway? Blah 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 blah. That chancellor. What is games that chancellor playing at? That impudent. I may have acted in haste with that impudent.
Insolence of that upjumped
Watch.
mercenary. And there
He's
is
such an
still
idiot.
no word. This cannot be borne.
Such behavior besmirches his Radiant's good name.
That's our target.
He sounds like a typical fucking
Seize him on my
Imperial-born
signal. Stay hidden till
asswipe. Similar to Commander Loki Tumult. Now, I never really succeed at this when I have to do all 5 of them in one shot. I just don't. I generally get caught. I don't get caught. Sometimes I do get caught, not gonna lie. I hate this shit.
What is that chancellor
We're playing at
I'm no man's fool.
man's fool. He sent Highwind to watch me. He doesn't give a shit about you, Caligo. He doesn't give a shit about anything, bro. He wants everybody to fucking die. I can't blame the guy. But let's just remember, they're both, you know, they're both being sacrificed here, so. And that's not really a spoiler, that's just common sense. If you don't know that Noctis has to give up his life, then you are, like, really naive. The most naive person I've ever met. I'm sorry, but it's true.
It's no mere coincidence she and I meet wherever I go. Claims to trust her as a person.
I am so
Hollow words
nervous
from the
right
mind
now.
behind the Magitech movement.
Well, I know you live in the Stone Age, but not everybody does. Alright, where am I right now? What am I doing right now? I hate this part of the game. I just don't like it. I get all fucking freaked out, like. I get wigged out, like, really do. I do not like it. Warp, because sometimes I get mixed with the warp points from the, warp kills. And it gets me all confused. Oh, real quick, let's just prepare ourselves, because we're gonna really just, there isn't much of a base into battle, so I recommend setting up our gear. For example, take Ignis's casual outfit, since Aranea doesn't inflict status effects, and well, I don't know what you have equipped. I mean, I have it equipped, so I'm gonna take it off. I recommend just going with this because I'm gonna have him using ice attacks, and therefore I'm gonna take off Fencer's anklet. I'm gonna put the Oracle ring on, Oracle earring, which makes him 391. Curse Cast Blizzaga, because she is accompanied with Imperial soldiers and, you know, MTs. You can use a Blaze Fire Saber, it's fine if you have it. I kind of banned out the Ragnarok though. I banned that out because of the overpoweredness of it. It's too powerful. So I banned that weapon, and I restricted some things. Ragnarok is restrict, and so is, unless you're using it to farm for AP, but it's a shitty way to farm for AP. Going into lead and killing, it's just retarded. Just fish, you'll get a lot more. What do you call it? The only two things that are really banned here are Ragnarok and the Mutant Rakshasa Blade. It's not really banned, it's just that you can't use it yet. You can't use it until the specific episode has been completed. So basically you can't use it until chapter 14. Alright, so for Ignis, because of our either regroup or overwhelm, probably gonna go with regroup because it not only helps with healing as well as putting up protect for everybody, stalwart, but it also aligns everybody in position, which is an important thing for striking enemies and such, is position. Position is very important when it comes to rescuing people, everything. So that's why regroup is invaluable. So definitely regroup is definitely a viable option, and overwhelm is good too. Colorless is useless. Mithril knives, Curse Kiss Blizzaga is good because frozen affects Aranea, but she's immune to everything else, is susceptible to stop. In fact, she's actually weak to stop, but more often than not, you'll end up getting yourself stopped, and you'll just fuck yourself. I just wouldn't do it. You'll be better off not doing it. It's not worth it. But frozen, however, that's worth it. If you have impulse for Gladio, I always think what do you call it? Star Shell or Piercer for Prompto. Generally Prompto, I keep him in the one slot, going by a 1, 2, 3. Basically, he has the level 1 tech set, and then I have Ignis set with the level 2 tech, and I have Gladiolus set with the level 3 tech. Just to have some, you know, I like doing it like that, it's kind of cool. It just feels evened out. Let's go over here to follow this dude over here. Iggy. We're ahead of the douchebag now. He is walking this way. We actually have to go over there when he comes. War point, baby. So this like red stuff here is apparently, you know, created by the same means as the wall of over Insomnia. Who, the hot girl with the big breasts? Who's like so hot? You probably want to bone her, don't you, Caligo? You totally want to bone Aranea. Highwind. That's all you're thinking about right now, is boning the fair-skinned girl with the big breasts, with the melons, right? Yeah, yeah, you are, Caligo. Thinking about the fair maiden with the big old melons. All right, now we gotta just basically rush up on him.
Now's your chance, Noct.
Wait till there's a signal. Boom, got him. Simple and no muss, no fuss.
You're in fine form. Keep it up.
Yeah, Aranea is awesome though. She's a cool character, I like in general. Alright, time to get to action. Or get to work, I should say.
Guess it's time to let loose.
Now I hope I don't freeze up like I did last time. I started freezing up with the Aranea fight because it, like most big time, like most major bosses, there's like very cinematic. You know, like Titan, very cinematic. Leviathan, very cinematic. Again, Aranea, very cinematic. Specifically her technique of Highwind and her airborne assaults when you tackle her in the sky. I'll talk about it in a second.
Let's move.
Don't worry about it, Ignis. We're fucking fine, man. Let's go this way. You're the one crouched down like a dipshit. I'm the one running to do all the work here. See, look. What are you doing? Sitting on your ass? Yeah, you are. And phasing is great. We gotta get away from those. Those are gonna blow up, so you don't wanna... See? As long as you can get phasing though, you should be good. Oh wait. Damn, how did they miss that? How'd that happen? Man, come on. That wasn't supposed to happen. Oh no. My... Jesus Christ. Potion. But you gotta fight him alone because we don't have Ignis. We can break this thing just like... And also... Like I said, Tempest would make you invulnerable, but sometimes great swords can be sloppy. Meaning... You know, they're slow. So I did not get a good finesse. Because I kept fucking that up. Great swords are interesting though. I'd definitely say great swords, all weapons in general, other than swords, take some getting used to in terms of using. Daggers, they're not easy to use. Spears are also something you're gonna have to get used to. But it's worth it. But don't use a spear against Aranea because it's pointless. You're basically fighting her with her forte. That's what she specializes in. That would be ridiculously stupid. I would primarily just fight her with your sword. That's probably your best bet. Because of her immunity to pretty much every element. And the only way you can inflict stop on her other than the stop cast would be with the blindside link through spears. And unfortunately that's just not going to happen. It's not going to happen. I repeat, it's not going to happen. If it does, you are the luckiest motherfucker in the world. Because in order for it to link, for it to click, the actual spear has to hit the target. If the spear doesn't hit the target, then they will not be inflicted with stop. That's just how the link strike works. Like even if Prompto's attack goes through, if the spear does not go through, they will not be inflicted with stop. That's a link strike with spears and Prompto's gun, I believe. Yes, it is. Because Prompto hardly ever misses. That's the good thing about the guns. He'll always hit. Guaranteed success rate on his hit rate, and also has a higher crit rate than most. Generally, stick the Blade of the Mystic. That's what I do. Alright, now we gotta fight another MA unit, and meet up with the rest of the guys. And that's why I like to have... Oh, we could maybe... I'm hoping. Friendship Band, give it to Prompto, because he's the furthest from Noctis. Definitely want to get those. Friendship Bands are fucking amazing. Because, believe it or not, Prompto is the furthest from Noctis, and link strikes are determined. Blindsides and links, all specialized strikes, all link strikes, blindside links and regular links, parry links, they're all a percentage while wearing a friendship band, and the distance determines the percentage and likelihood of who will you know, come in for a link strike. A little thing before we fight the Aranea is I just want to let you guys know, if you don't know, I don't know if you are aware of this, but for those of you who might want to try out the rescue alternative instead of using items all the time, there is a way to increase the likelihood of your characters rescuing other characters. It doesn't say it outright, but obtaining first aid and advanced first aid actually also increases the percentage of their what do you call it? The likelihood they will actually rescue each other. It's unfortunate that they don't tell you that, but it is true. So when you get a character to expert first aid, they will also be an expert at, you know, rescuing allies in danger state. In other words, they'll be very reliable. Right now, Ignis is somewhat reliable in reviving others in danger. Gladiolus is reliable. Prompto is reliable. And you'll notice the difference too when you obtain them. And in order of closeness to Noctis, it's obviously Prompto's furthest, Ignis is closest, Gladio is in the middle, but will come to Noct. If you use Royal Guard, will run right towards near him, so. And thus, regroup will also help with the link strikes as well, because of the fact that you will form up. Forming up will have you all basically rally up together, back to back, and regroup is regroup. And it is this game's version of Protect, as well as Cure, you know. It is the game's version of Cure or Wall or whatever. Regroup is the healing of this game. Alright, so we're gonna have to fight this thing. It's similar to like when we fought the commander in the beginning of the game. It is weak to... we could use greatswords, I think. Yeah, I'm gonna use greatswords. Let's do it. Gear on Prompto. Gonna go with the recoil is great on machines. It's a pistol, unfortunately, but the gravity well utilizes the magic stat, so it's fine. Oh no! What the? Oh shit! I missed it. So that's another one too. He's invulnerable. That I think I don't know. Ba 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 ba. I love that. During that Tempest sweep, you're also invulnerable to damage. And also during a full thrust. Move away from that. Doing a full thrust, you're also, actually I'm not sure about the full thrust.
Glad to see you lot were successful.
Believe it or not.
Does that mean you weren't? I placed our captive into the hunter's custody, but I've just been informed he's fled.
Greatswords are the best, though.
And I'll gladly help him with that.
As long as, because they have the potential to do the highest damage link strikes, especially with Prompto. The, what do you call it? The swap shot thing, the swap shot link. I call it the swap and drop. Because basically they swap weapons and then they drop down on the enemy and shoot. And, well, yeah, they get the drop on them. It's pretty cool, actually. They swap weapons using a greatsword, and Noctis uses the gun, and Prompto uses the greatsword, and it's just fucking... it does a good amount of damage. As well as, not to mention, it does firearm damage, and it does greatsword damage. And does high crit rate. Shield Bish is also a good one for breakage. Alright, anyway, so we're doing Aranea. Aranea is about to appear now. Let's get everybody formed up. So again, I'm going to use Star Shell because we're going to be accompanied by MTs. and they could be a little bit of an annoyance. I'm gonna stick with Impulse for Gladio. However, I'll probably change. Yeah. I'll probably keep him with what he's got, I guess. Yeah. He's fine. And he's already set, so we're good. Blizzaga. I keep him in charge of spells, mainly. And for him, well, do whatever you feel like doing, really, for Noctis. I mean, I'm not restricting you to do, do what you want, I mean, I just recommend using a sword because it's the most comfortable, but whatever you think is best. But she is really fast, so just keep that in mind, and you can't pull off, it's impossible to pull off link strikes with daggers, so you might just be safe to use swords. That's probably your best bet. It's gonna be hard to blindside her anyway, but linking might not be so bad. Anyway, here's to hoping I don't freeze up, because she's pretty cinematic. Alright, so let's just go over the battle real quick. She basically is very, very fast, high agility, She's very agile. Her HP is not too high. She got 46,000. Give or take. No, that's not like the exact number, but that's just around that, 46,000 something. If you wanted to round it off, it'd be like 47,000. But it's 46,000 and change. She's got regular damage source, pretty much resistant to almost everything. Every status element that you could think of, except for frozen and stop. She can be inflicted with stop, but don't bother exploiting it. You could try, but I wouldn't recommend it unless you have protection for it. Frozen, however, is basically the same thing as stop. If I guess a little different, but is kind of the same thing. But yeah, frozen is good. Oddly enough, she is also immune to burnt and shock. So exploit that with blizzard magic if you want to. And also MTs are weak to ice. That's another good thing to point out. She will have in company with her a shitload of Imperial MTs, so that's something to make sure you have crowd control using Star Shell or Gravisphere. I would recommend Star Shell. And of course, again, because of her speed and because of all the accompanying MTs, you're going to want to rely on her Highwind attack, because she's fast and you're not going to want to use a greatsword. Screw that. Use Impulse to take care of all the MTs surrounding Aranea, including Aranea, although it might not do much damage to her. Again, she has very high resistance to almost everything other than Noctis's weapons. You'll see what I mean. She doesn't really take a lot of damage other than Noctis, like most major bosses. And she's immune to light, which means Star Shell will not affect her at all, believe it or not. But it will affect the MTs. If you have Gravity Well equipped as a machine, though, it's pretty good, because then you don't actually have to really equip Gravisphere, because Gravity Well is basically the same thing as Gravisphere, which is a fun little fact. It just doesn't crit, but it is the same thing, really, which is really awesome. Like, really fucking cool. Same thing with some other things too, like Circular Soars, kind of almost like Recoil. It's very similar anyway. I wouldn't say exactly the same, but they're similar. But Gravisphere is pretty wild, because the Gravity Well is basically the air anchor from Final Fantasy VI. Alright, so that's pretty much it, guys. You're dealing with a very high evasive, big-breasted, gorgeous Dragoon. Now, even with those, you know, wildly huge hooters, she is very, very fast on her feet, and she can jump high, 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 high up in the air. So you're gonna have to make sure you utilize warp strike points, or else you will fall into stasis. And as we all know, stasis sucks. Just utilize the warp strike points and star shell, regroup, the shit like that, and then you'll be good to go. You just want to focus on crowd control mainly, so that Noctis can pay attention to fighting Aranea, and therefore you won't have to worry about MTs as much. You want to focus mainly on Aranea. So therefore, Impulse, you should grab Star Shell. Impulse for damage, Star Shell for control, Regroup for formation and protection. And that's it. And that's the fight. Ready or not, here she comes. And here's to hoping that I don't freeze. So I really don't want to freeze. I don't want to freeze. Hey, pretty boy. Da 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 da. Okay. Hey, pretty boy. All right, here we go.
Let's see what you can do.
This is a wild fight. Ooh, sweet. Oh, I'm gonna go change to fuck her up quick, because that'll actually work. Oh no, I'm using a great sword. I shouldn't have been doing that. Okay, this is where the fun begins. Okay. What just happened? Wow. Regroup. Yeah, we got her. Regroup. Oh. Blindside Link, nice, because of Frozen. That's right. Oh. No way. Star Shell. Oh, she hasn't even gone up yet because of the Frozen state. Oh, what? Yes! No doubt. I didn't even get her. What? I did a good job. I fucking owned her. I didn't even have to get her into the sky.
What time?
Wow.
Quitting time.
I owned
Sorry,
you, girl.
but this girl doesn't work after hours.
I owned her,
but there
bro.
wouldn't be a single gill in it for me.
Wow.
Oh, we should play again sometime.
That was
Pretty
great.
boy.
I've never did that before. Owned her that like that. That was... Wow.
The hell was she?
She didn't even get a chance to really even get to do aerial combat with me. That's how bad I fucking kicked her ass.
I imagine she's fine.
But we shouldn't keep her waiting.
Oh man. It's just weird though, the one thing that she is weak to is Frozen. And again, you don't really need to exploit her with Stop, because Frozen will do it. And it'll also be able to get blind. I was surprised I got a blindsided Link. 2 of them. I was like, what? And then I just realized, I was like, it's because of the Frozen state. Frozen state was what got me to do it. Because Frozen basically is like equivalent to slow, I guess. It slows you down. Unless you use like Blizzaga, that's really...
Did you kick their asses?
If you use Freeze, that's different.
A day's work.
Hey, mind if I hang in your guys' room for a bit?
Anyway, that was really good. I don't know if I'm gonna get a good photo or not. I got a really good photo once of combat with her jug is just hanging out and she was just fighting. She had like a smile on her face with her spear and she was like bending over, but kind of like in a pose with a spear. It was really cool. And you saw like her jugs in the armor. I just mention it because it's like a part of her character. Those two big, beautiful white jugs. They're like two watermelons. And then green eyes. She got like these green eyes, pointed nose, two round milk jugs or milk duds, and awesome set of gear and a tight body with silver hair.
Nice shot, Prompto.
I really hope. I'm hoping. Okay. Okay, well, we got a tit shot at least.
Aranea, huh?
Not as good as the shot I got. I got a really nice shot once. Like I said, it was like that. It was just like that, her tits hanging out. But I got the face. But still nice though. It's kind of ironic. It's just like a picture of tits. Look, I got a picture of tits, guys. Hey, you want to see my picture of Aranea? It's Noctis, and I'm fighting boobs. Look, it's the boss fight, boobs. Level 26, the third boss fight of the game. Boobs. Or the tits in the dress. I mean, basically, that's what that picture indicates. I'm fighting breasts. I'm fighting the tits. I'm fighting boobs. And Aranea is all tit. We all know that. I mean, look, even in that photo, you could see tits. It's like 3 heads. A head and 2 more heads. One's Humpty, one's Dumpty. And then, well, obviously the other one's her head. Alright, so that's a really nice photo. I'll definitely keep this big, nice, amazing tit shot of Aranea, which just specifically narrows in right on her tits. And I'll probably put it right onto I'll put it on Luna Freya's wedding in the Dreamland at the end of the game. I'll use that photo as my signature photo. Picture of tits. Me battling tits. What do you think of that? That's just hilarious though, because that means Prompto just took a shot of her tits. I guess it's hard not to when you're basically the upper part of your body is all breast. I mean, look at Iris, and she's just normal, but look at that, all tit. Jeez. Even on the side, look at that, it's the size of Ignis's head. It's blocking his head. She is titties all over. But I got a good photo of her. A couple of good photos, actually. So let's start saving. I always liked Aranea, though. She's nice. Even though... because we haven't had a character like her since Tifa. She kind of like a throwback. You know, character with massive tits. And that's true, yeah, we haven't had one since Final Fantasy. She's like Tifa and Lightning combined. If Tifa and Lightning could possibly have a love child, then you'd get Aranea. Get all the best traits from Lightning and get the best traits from Tifa. Put them into one and make Aranea. What was my last photo anyway? Oh, okay, yeah, I'll save this one. What the hell is that? And I took a lot of good photos though. Can't keep all of them though. Which one's better? I'll get this one, I guess, because I like the color and it's nice, whatever. It's blurry. An area shot. What the fuck is he doing there? I don't even know what he's doing. Should I get an area shot or no? I kinda like area shots. It's not bad actually. He's using his daggers fighting an MA. I'll try to save as many as I can. I'm not gonna save that one, that sucks. I'm gonna save that one, that one's dope. With the Noctis and the Greysword. And the Broken Down Machine. I try to put a story together, but it's not easy. Definitely gonna save that tit pick. Cause that's a keeper, man. Definitely a keeper. Oh, wow. A lot of these photos are good. So I'm gonna have to delete some photos. Should have allowed you to save 500 photos, but they didn't. So, what are you gonna do? I'll have to get rid of this one. This doesn't make sense. I'm already on the road here. No, just like, you know. I like that photo. Look again, Deanna chilling out. That's pretty cool. That's a cool picture. Let's see. That's the only coral picture we have right now. I'm hoping that later we'll get a better coral picture. The Kujata. Gentiana and the Kujata, which is a weird one, because it just basically is just Gentiana there. You could see Noctis a little bit, but really it's Gentiana standing right in front of a Kujata. That's pretty dope. I'm gonna get rid of this one because I'm not gonna keep. I already have the other two. This one was good, so it's fine. I have a few other ones too. I don't need a million of them. This was an awesome picture. I've never gotten it before. A picture of the actual runestone, the final runestone. It's like getting a picture of the Glacian. I wish you could get a picture of the Glacian, but you can't. Because this technically is a picture of Rama. The final runestone. Or this one I used to think was the picture, but I didn't know you were able to actually get that. Let's see what else. I want to get rid of some shit. I don't really need that. I gotta get rid of this. Yeah, get rid of that shit. I'm gonna make some room, so I've always been arguing to my, I don't really know. Oh, I'm gonna get rid of this one. I can get a better one now. Navith. Navith. I've made my mind. I'm getting rid of this one. I'm keeping the other one. I just like this one. I don't know why. Cactars. Arden. Alright, so a Midgar's armor and Midgar's armor. Flans. It's gotta be Flans. Fuck it, I'm gonna get rid of this picture. Nah, I don't have to yet. I really don't, actually. What the hell is he fighting? I don't even know what that is. He looks like he's casting a fire spell. We just took an area shot. Too close together. Yeah, I'm gonna get rid of these two. See what you will, but I'm gonna get rid of them. Fuck it. It makes some room, and I'm in good shape. Look at this. Prompto's been fascinated with tits lately. I noticed. Look at that. See, I was like an awesome shot of Viv because of the tits in the background. Tit shot. But I'm serious, he'd been really tit obsessed. And Gladio obsessed too early in the game. I don't know why. It's like, what's the deal with that? Can you spot the carbuncle in this picture? There is one. It's there. It's an I spy. Can you spy the carbuncle with your little eye? It's right there in the pillar behind him. Just floating. See it? Carbuncle. Yep. He appears in pictures I can't even see him sometimes. Then I look back later and I'm like, oh shit, he's been there all along. I think we're good so far, right? I mean, yeah. Yeah, let's try to save some photos now. We'll be in good shape. I bet you we'll get to all these good photos. Titty photos and ass and tit photos. Save this photo, definitely. That's a good one. It shows how I fucking beat her ass. And that is an ass shot too, by the way. See that? And Ignis is getting hit in the face with her big tit. That's what it looks like. Not bad. And we got Eurus. That's an always picture. And we are good to go. At this point, we can use Eurus.
Good morning.
Hi.
I'll keep the video going until the broadcast, until we get to, I guess, until the next chapter. Might as well finish it up.
Huh.
Okay. And I'm continuing my broadcast. I already uploaded my videos, so that's good. Should be in my uploads.
You hear about the attack on the Imperial base?
Oh yeah.
I hope they get attacked.
Buy him orange ring.
You can't be serious. That kind of caper only makes things worse for all of us.
Alright, so, roll that out of the way. With all that out of the way, we'll basically be good to go. And we usually have Iris in the party for a little while, so you should take advantage of her.
What's up?
Back at ya.
Basically, it's cool because she's the only character who's capable of actually executing link strikes with daggers. And she's also the only character other than Ignis who actually has abilities other than first aid that can what do you call it? Heal. She can heal Noctis when in trouble or low on HP. She could help. Heal. She heals, similar to Ignis. I'm just saying that you know, Iris is one of the few characters that can actually help you in terms of healing. She tends to help heal. She has the capability of healing Noctis, similar to Ignis. She also uses a Moogle as an attack.
Not too many spices. I wonder what sort of meat they use here.
Doesn't matter, as long as it tastes good.
We're gonna go now and hand off some quests. That's what I gotta do. So, I'm not going to get in the car. I'm gonna call a Chocobo. Because if you call the car, then you're gonna have to go to Cape Cayam. And I don't want to do that yet.
These birds are freaking adorable.
Should have said fucking adorable. We're gonna go this way. We aren't... Are we blocked? Oh, we are blocked. Wait, how far are we blocked? Oh, we're blocked? Can't even go to the Stalin? That's some whack ass crap. Hold on though, wait, let me see some quests. I think there's still stuff I have to do here. Ooh, we gotta do Blobs Ashore, the last Spear of Corns, and Hunters. Okay, can't do Hunters. Where am I right now? Winnet Delta, we're here. So we can't get over to Calatine right now. To catch a frog. Alright, so I'm gonna be doing the last Spear of Corns right now, actually, because I need to do it. It's important to do, so I could upgrade to eventually get that Ultimate Blade. And while having, what do you call it, years of the group, I'm gonna probably return to rest place. Oh, you know what? Fuck that. Go to a different rest place. Let me just see something here. Gear. Because I'm gonna go ahead and unequip this. Give him the... I usually give him Heal Kiss by Raga, it makes sense. His name is Ignis, right? I'm still working on Impulse. Blade of the Mystic. Does good with Warp Strike openings. No, I'm gonna give him Ice Spear, probably. And if I stick with the Heal Kiss Pyraga, stick with the Oracle Ring, regroup, mark, overwhelm, oh wait, we'll see. Alright, so she's got Eclipse, and the primary arm that she actually uses is a Moogle. It says numb, but she does actually do some shit. And the Eclipse is a light-based attack. It is actually similar to Prompto, Star Shell. And the Mythril Pistol actually couples well with the Gravity Well. However, I'm gonna take up the Mythril Knives because Cutlasses have the ability to enfeeble. It can inflict enfeeble, so it enfeebles opponents, which actually make them pretty good, considering all things considered. You know, enfeeble with Cutlasses and then using poison via his Venom Strikes. It's pretty good. Then, if you have a Prompto with Piercer, you can basically have them inflicted with Compromise and Enfeeble, which is basically Neutralize. Well, that's technically, yeah, it's basically Neutralize. Neutralized or broken, whatever. Having Compromise and Enfeeblement on both characters, on having both of those status ailments on an enemy is basically when an enemy is neutralized. Alright, I think, let me see what it says here. I forgot. Let me see. There's actually a lot of status elements in it. A real lot. Like a real lot. I think we should talk about really though the negative combats are really, because when you count the food, it gets to a really high number. I don't count the food though, only a few things are considered special. But danger is a very interesting one. Did you know that Ignis can still dodge roll in danger? And he also recovers from danger a lot quicker if he's controlled when you press the warp button. What happened? A QT. Another good thing about having the armor unlocked is you can't enter danger mode. But he can if you're using armor unleashed. So you have to watch out. Down. Oh, wow. See, the way I look at danger is technically the way it should be. Status when unable to attack. And if you're unable to attack, you should basically be unable to do anything. And thus that character should be banned from being able to use items, or shouldn't have the privilege to do anything. Because it's in danger. And therefore, I think it's safe to say that Noctis is the one who's using the items and has to come from Noctis. Okay. Downstate is interesting. In easy mode, I don't know how long though it takes. Like, you can get instant death. But only certain things can inflict it. Only certain things can inflict it. Believe it or not, the player can inflict instant death, the death penalty. Believe it or not, when you have the death penalty, like, because he has multi-hits with Trigger Happy, he has a 1% chance to inflict instant death on every hit. But death and instant death are two different things. Death in this game is the equivalence of, like, I don't know, like, almost like, drain, I guess. It's kind of what it is. It's like drain. That's the best way to put it. But they called it Death and Holy and then Ultima. Well, Alterna. But it basically is, that's basically what you're getting with the ring. Death, Holy, and Ultima. Which they pronounce Alterna. Alterna. But Alterna is basically Ultima. Alterna. Alright, so here as I was saying, enfeebled. I just wanted to get to this. So, yeah. Iris, while she's in the party, she can't be placed in danger. So thus, she can't be placed in down state either. So it's pretty useful. Now, like I said, enfeebled is only inflicted through the cutlasses, really. It's one of the only things that can inflict it. And thus, making the cutlasses actually really useful. And thus, I think it's actually a pretty good weapon to equip. As for compromise, you can inflict it using a number of things. Promptus Piercer, The War Sword, the Delta Daggers are just those are the primary three. So, but with what do you call it? With Enfeeble, to reduce your attack, you can only rely on the cutlasses. Then there's Envenomed, but it's like annoying. He'll walk around randomly. I'm just reading something. Well, it actually kind of does confuse people. It disorients Star Shell. Yeah, the status in this game is pretty nasty. And stop is probably one of the worst. And apparently stone is only exclusive to the party. Yeah, there's birds out there, Loki. But don't jump out the window. Just relax. I'm chilling. Yeah, good boy. Your photographs. Stop. The afflicted is frozen in time and unable to act. It wears off fast, but the character recoils as they come out of the status. But targets can apparently be stopped in midair. The players can inflict it on enemies with the vigilantes. I didn't know that. You can't get that until later. But Scintilla can inflict stop, by the way. And the golden hourglass and ribbon protect it. There we go. Because remedies cannot cure stop. It's the one thing that you basically can't be cured from. Ribbons do not cure stop, unfortunately. They don't. Status that inflicts burnt, and then frozen, and shocked. Okay. Status Enervation is actually good. Curse Cast is one of the best spells, I think. That's and the Ring of Lucia caps at 500, by the way. An episode Ignis Noctis can inflict death. When? What? Vulnerable. Inflict increased damage to vulnerable turrets. But precisely how the vulnerability mechanics work isn't really explained. It's just a hidden meter of damage that you have to deal, basically. So if you can do enough damage, you'll get a breaking point, which therefore will either cause breaking appendages during vulnerability or cross chains. But you'll have to fill a hidden damage meter doing enough damage. Apparently breaking an enemy appendage can also put them into a vulnerable state. And certain enemies and bosses become vulnerable when the player parries their attack. That's interesting. So, oh, clouded. Inconsistent. Ooh. Attack boost. Magic boost, defense boost is interesting. Spirit boost, HP boost, regeneration boost. Doesn't affect max HP. Obviously not. Perception boost. Okay, critical boost. You're good, Loke. You're fine. You going? Well, spot's always open for you. Alright. Alright, anyway. What's over there, Loke? Anything? Just don't jump out the window. Okay? It's open, but don't jump out. Okay? Trust you. I don't want you to get hurt. It's my cat. My cat. My cat. I saw a cat that got ran over recently. It's horrible. Just today, actually. Maid, Master, Last Stand, Clairvoyant, Technician. I like Technician. Anyway, I got my answer now, so let me go to Ascension real quick, and I'm gonna pick this up, because it's useful. Do we have Scintilla yet? Yeah, we do. This inflicts, deliver a counterattack, and stuns enemies. Basically, that means stop. Swiftly unleash damage on an area. With a firearm makes enemies flinch. I'm going to get ballistic. Ballistic is good. Gotta stay ahead of the game with that. Final Fantasy 15, ballistic. So to find out more about what that does. Because it'd be nice to know exactly what it does. And we'll see. Oh, get this thing out of the way. I just want to find out what the hell this does exactly, because each one's a little different. Is all why I mention it. Like Royal Guard does give Serene, and Impulse is really good. Sagefire and Impulse respectively are good at breaking limbs, which I do know. Okay, so Eclipse, that's an ERS attack. Attacks one enemy, instantly kills Magitech troopers. Gladiolus can't be incapacitated. Sorry, I thought it was a light attack. I was wrong. I was wrong. Hey. Stay. Oh, Highwind for Aranea. And then there's Apocalypsis. What? Oh wait, I had to go to Prompto's Ballistic actually. I should have said that. Okay. Hey. 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 What you doing? They say. Oh. Don't go all the way out. You're gonna hurt. Go out the way. Come on. Have you seen my panties? Where are my panties? I need my panties. Where's my panties? My panties! I found my panties. Here are my panties. Alright. Found my panties. I was looking for my socks, but my cat doesn't. He don't care. He don't care. Whether I call them panties, socks. Just another word. But panties sounds stupid and silly. So I like to say that. Looking for my panties. But I found my panties. Okay, what do we got? Oh, right, we're on our way to Kayam. Well, not really, we're actually gonna do a hunt. We're gonna do a hunt, baby! This is the hunt we need to do, I think, to grab the Grey Sword. Well, where's a tent? There's a tent somewhere nearby. Let's go... Wait, isn't there any camps over here or no? I thought there was. Maybe there isn't. Shit. Holy condos. I'm gonna go to Alkari. It's only 1 mile away, it's not that far. But now I could shop for, I could fish for decent shit. So that's the good news. Which is nice. It's good to shop for decent shit.
Hey, what's the matter, Iris?
Nothing. I'm having the time of my life out here on the road with you guys.
Well, here you go.
And that's another thing, too, you get story content.
This way forever, you know? But hey, enjoy it while it lasts, right?
With Iris, if you go and quest with her. So I recommend it. Definitely do it. I'll probably end my video after we get to Malmoen. Malmoen, dig it. Gotta follow the marker point. My Chocobo, my Cosmo bro is fast. That's why we call him the Cosmo bro. He is a Cosmo bro. He's the Cosmo bro because he's mad fast. He's cosmic. El Cosmo. Not a Chocobo, but a Cosmo. He's a Cosmo bro. Not a Chocobo. A Cosmo bro. Cosmo bro. Mad trees over there.
A dreary day.
Dreary day. The Cosmo bro is like my Cosmo bro. Does that mean, you ask? Well, it means he's a Cosmo bro. Wanna fight some of these horses?
I'll have these guys wiped out before you know it.
Is that so?
Chocobos
All right,
can
prove
sometimes help
it.
out.
Here I am!
See?
How do you find time to take pictures in the middle of a fight?
Check it out. See? Yours can heal Noctis. That's pretty cool. It's a pretty interesting link strike.
Watch out!
She heals Noctis. Sometimes you can get a what do you call it?
Never
Follow up with that
underestimate
attack. Oh boy.
No sweat.
Nice. Oh, we gotta use the Phoenix time. I didn't know we were gonna be fighting those folks.
Here you go, Noct.
See you go? That's the good thing about it. And luckily, she can't be placed in down states, that's good.
One time! Sure thing!
Oh, sweet.
Agnes!
Oh well.
All we've got!
Vulnerable.
Coming up! Nice
She'll
work!
dash.
No!
Iris can help us out.
Don't give up! I believe in you!
Yeah. Thank you, Iris.
Good counter!
Oh my god, this is really powerful.
Try this!
Yeah. We got a summon. Titan! Sweet. The big man himself can't help us out. Look at that. Boulders and brimstone. That's what's up. That's the sickest. That's awesome sound.
You guys kick ass!
You mean it?
Yeah, you look cool doing it too.
Look at his eyes.
Yeah, we get that a lot.
Don't take it to heart.
He's like purple eyes, man. Alright. Good fight, good fight. Very good shit. So yeah, having Iris in the party has a lot of benefits. Absolutely. Gotta say.
Easy now.
Knocked. Overhead.
I'm gonna change options real quick. I wanna see something. Combat. I'm gonna do, hold on. I think Type C is actually good. Oh. I see something.
Thanks for the
This is
ride.
actually a good one.
Aw, thanks, buddy.
Let me see this. I think this makes actually sense. I should try this. Let me see this type again. It might make more sense to go with. Let's see, there's something here. Controls. Type B. Sprinting and attacking is square. Defending. Defending is L1. Yeah, that's better actually. L1 and square? That actually makes sense. It's better than circle and square. That makes a lot more sense actually. Yep. Definitely. Techniques is R2. So basically L1 and square. Attack and defend, just switch in spots. To make it actually a better actually. And I'm gonna do position from far. Ally cutaways on because I don't ever hardly use items. We'll run a little faster now. I gotta get used to this now. So we use square. That's not bad, actually. Gotta practice that. See, I gotta practice it. Hold on.
We needn't waste more time.
Here goes nothing!
Ready or not!
Holy shit.
Never miss!
Atta boys!
Everything okay with you?
I think.
Nothing to worry about with you guys around.
Wouldn't L1 make more sense? Oh, L1 is. Oh, good. That's good. That's the perfect way to do it. Hold on a second. L1, yeah. That's good. Then what does this one do then? Why'd they have to change this one? No, that doesn't make sense.
I am not into wildlife. Whoa, that guy.
Stop bitching, start killing.
Yeah, that makes a lot more sense. This might be better to get used to that.
Careful! Try this!
You gotta get used to it though.
Thank you.
You gotta get used to this. But it doesn't make more sense to do it that way.
Here goes nothing!
Because you can easily figure it out in this case here, which I have to practice.
Nice one,
I realize that.
Pay attention again.
I was always wondering how that worked, but now I got it.
Right here.
How do I do this? It's confusing. Oh, okay, so now circle is what, like, and triangle is like
Prince of Pain.
I'm just not used to this, so I have to get used to it now. This is how I would think of it. But it does make sense when you think about it.
Okay, Specky?
Let it be done.
I mean, I think it makes sense. I'm just trying to get used to it.
That's a nice guy!
I'll try it and see if I like it. I just don't like the fact that I don't like that they dodge me. It's weird. It's just different. I bet you end up getting used to it though, it should be fine. Sure, anyway. Let's see why it works. I think we get used to it.
Damn, Chris. Didn't know you had it in you.
Oh, I like
Never
that.
underestimated it.
Yeah, use it before I was learn. So now, basically,
Oh no!
dodge, we press
I was
L1.
so worried.
Don't be.
That's a weird thing. L1. Is it the same? This activates techniques.
Precipitation.
Sprint, warp a circle now. Triangle is items. Triangle items. Defend.
I'll have these guys wiped out before you know it.
Is that so? All right, prove it.
Okay, so that's... Oh, okay. Still getting used to this though. It's gonna be a big adjustment for me. It just seems like it'd be better though to use it if I'm... We'll see. I should have started with this, I didn't realize.
Sun's cold.
Elixir, Ogonto.
Day.
Yep. Getting pretty dark out here.
Come on, guys. Let's go find somewhere to crash.
Let's go.
I'm all over the place right now.
Magitech engine. It's
I'm not
close.
fighting that Magitech engine right now. Not right now. I'm not even used to my controls yet. I'm still getting used to this shit. I'm still getting used to roll dodging, I guess. And sooner or later we'll get Choco at level 10. Which can also link strike with daggers. What happened?
Nice riding with you.
Last thing I need now. Eyes peeled, mouth closed.
Reinforcements.
Try this.
Get back.
You would think they could get used to it.
Oh, hi there, opening.
I'm surprised. But people used to it. I'm so used to what I was doing that I'm doing this like but it doesn't even make sense. Like I should have did this for what though? Kinda sucks. I should have did this for though. Didn't realize that this setup made more sense. I always thought it was the other way around. Hold on. I just gonna finish this. I mean... Let me finish this. Let me finish this real quick. You can come up. I'll finish this first. I'm almost done. Let me finish this real fast, alright? Be done in a second. I should have stuck with this and the entire time. I didn't realize. This is like, I guess, Kingdom Hearts. I don't know why they didn't have type B as the regular one. This is weird.
Could use a break.
We have walked a good while.
Are we at the campsite yet, or what? I have to train, or something. I gotta do something. Yeah, train is best. Train's the best way to do this, I think. I'm gonna go and train. Isn't the camp right here? Once I get used to this, I should be fine. You just have to get used to the system. You know, I'm not used to this yet. I'm getting used to a brand new way of fighting. But it is, I think, better this way. I don't know why they didn't have it like this. I mean, it just doesn't make sense to have... It would have been real simple to have it like that from the get-go, though.
Made it.
Or, in fact, actually... Circle jump, X attack, square defend. But they didn't do that, which is kind of weird. Square and X would have been ideal. That would have made the most sense, actually. It probably makes just as much sense as the L2, R2. It makes the most sense of all, actually, I think. From the system they decided to go with. Square and circle is weird. Circle is attack. But
better start preparing for supper.
It shouldn't have been.
Oh, let me help you.
X should have been attack. Circle should have been jump. Triangle should have been warp strike. And square should have been defend. I mean, it's pretty obvious. It's like, duh. Duh. I mean, I don't understand how that's, it's not complicated at all. It's even almost represented. X, attack. Circle, jump. Triangle, warp strike. And then square, defend. It's almost like the buttons represent those and those types of actions, in fact. Those exact actions. X as in slashing, you know, across, you know, Xing something out, attacking, exit, X, circle as in like bump, 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 bump. Circle indicates like, you know, a bump, you know, going up, bouncing. Circle. Circle is bump. You know, circle indicates like a button. Boom. Press the button like, okay, jump. Triangle, a green triangle at the tippy top. To me, just makes sense for the perfect button for warp striking. I mean, that's the perfect way to warp strike would be try. That's why it should be warp strike, triangle, defend, square, attack, X, and jumping, circle. I don't know why they decided to. I can't be the only person who hasn't noticed that oddity. It's just weird. And it makes no sense at all. Why can't you just customize the fucking buttons? I don't get that. FF15 should have that though. Combat. The button mapping. How do I put a square in though? Do they even have square? I don't think they do. No, they don't. That's a problem. They don't have square. Oh my god, I don't know what to do. I don't know how to do this. Final Fantasy 15 should have had X for attack and square for defend. Wait a minute. Final Fantasy 15 button mapping should have had attacking on X and defending on square. I think all the schemes is silly. It's just obvious though. I mean, duh. Of course it would be X. It's just like they should have just allowed you to I don't know. It's weird that they didn't have that as a control scheme for Type 4. Because that is actually a really good control scheme. Having triangle to warp strike, circle to jump, X to attack, what do you call it? And that would have fixed everything, actually. All you have to do is swap the two buttons around. Instead of having it circle, you would have it attack. Circle should have just been switched with attack. Circle should have been switched with X, that's all. The only thing. That's all they had to do. It would have solved everything. Yeah, same here, I use claw. I don't lock on. claw method. How is that person doing that? I don't have a finger like that. That's weird. My thing is not set up. How does he do that? That's weird, bro. I don't know how that person does that. My fingers are not big enough for the claw method. What the fuck am... The claw method? I don't like the claw method. I can't do the claw method. What's the fucking claw method? I just don't have the fingers for it. It's a weird for me. The claw method. The claw method. It's weird. But I'm not gonna complain. I'm gonna get used to it and I will do what I gotta do. Did I choose a meal already? I didn't mean to. Looks like they're about to sleep together. Oh wow, that's a good picture. I think I see between those legs. A very good picture there. Pussy shot. We'll call that the twat shot. Or the snap snapper. Yeah, it's the snap snap. It's a snapshot. A snapper shot. He took a snapper shot. Took a photo of a snapper. I like that. That's the snapshot. Taking a picture of a girl's snapper. A snapshot of a snap spot. Snap. Very douche and hot. Taking a pic of the snapshot. Snapshot. That's pretty cool. They should have made her 18 though. Why would you be 16 and have a picture of her pussy? Like, I don't know. It's weird. She doesn't look 16, bro. She does not look at 16. Definitely does not look at 16. She looks like she's 18 maybe. 17, 18, not 16. Definitely not 16. Too developed. Way too developed to be 16. No 16-year-olds are that developed. And I'm not talking about physically, just general. She's a girl, like she could pass for someone who's 19 or 20. Like, she's too mature. There's things about her, physical and mental, that indicate she is at least 17 to 18. 17 would be believable, but not 16. It's just not possible. We're very far-fetched. Just doesn't make sense. Very mature for her age. It's almost unbelievable. I mean, you can't. It's just weird. Oh, that's a sick photo. There's a couple of sick photos here. What the hell is that? That's quite the interesting photo. That one's not bad either. I like that one. That one's not bad. I don't know what the hell that one is. It's a weird one. I'm gonna save it though. I don't really know what the hell is going on in this picture. I'm gonna start deleting pics though. Once we can get the photography up, we should be in good shape. That's all I want to do is get the photography up. Once we do that, we're in good shape. That's all we really need to do, actually. We don't need 3 Gladiolus pictures right in a row, though. And why would we have this picture? We don't need that either. We have a Mesmer picture. There's gonna be so many more better, you know, good photos to come. So certain ones are keepers, but not every single one. Like that's a good one. I'm gonna get rid of this one. There's so many Gladiolus pictures. I don't know what's his obsession with Gladiolus. Earlier in the game, he was obsessed with him. It's crazy. See, more Gladiolus. Gladiolus. And I've already deleted tons of other Gladiolus. 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 And yeah, I already actually deleted a shitload of Gladiolus pictures already. He took so many shots of Gladiolus in the beginning of the game. I have no idea why, but he did. And he just decided to take mad pictures of Gladio was taken over and over and over and over again. Like, it's crazy. I'll probably delete all these. Yeah. Delete. 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 I gotta make room, so it makes more sense that way. I do it this way. We really don't need this picture, but I'm deleting that one. We don't need it. To summarize the story up. Delete. 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 There we go, that's better. Much better. Much better. That was a good one. But you know, I'm gonna delete it. Need to make room. But delete it. Gotta make room. Definitely gotta make room. That's cool. Why do they keep this photo? These are terrible. Let's see what we got here. Oh, I'm gonna have to delete this. Doesn't make any sense. It doesn't go well with the rest of the story. That's the problem. So I have to have it go well with the storyline as well. So I'm telling a story while with my photos. That's what I'm trying to do. So there has to be a day and night cycle that's going in the correct order. If not, it doesn't feel right for me. It's just me though. And because I got that picture there. Let me get rid of this one. Just keep that one here and then that one. Into the Chocobo Falls. Again, Gladiolus. Ignis finally. Gladiolus again. He loves to take pictures of Gladiolus. If you haven't noticed. Let Luna know that I'll be there soon. But Craig Blumundai. Oh, you're a fishing nut too, huh? Alright. This bait's been like no other. Yeah. Decent, but delete. Gotta only keep certain photos. They only let us keep 200, so sad but true. That's a good one. I'll keep that one. That's really not that good. And these are good ones, I like. These ones are nice. That's a coral picture. Wait, why would it be nighttime all of a sudden? It's fucking weird, bro. It's just strange. I thought this was daytime. Now it's nighttime? When did that happen? This was supposed to be first, and this was second. I remember saving this first, and this second. I don't know what happened. It auto-shuffled? Like, what the fuck? Why? I saved it in a specific order because for a reason. We're supposed to face him down and then warp strike him. I mean, what the fuck? It's retarded. They fuck up a lot of my stuff on purpose, like. Not really the biggest fan of that picture. Just a weird picture, I don't know. No camp scene? Why? The fuck? What's that all about? I'm gonna get rid of that. I gotta get rid of a good amount of photos right now, that's the thing. That's nice. That's a destroyed MA. Beautiful. Very nice. Beautiful. And beautiful. Beautiful. Very beautiful. 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 But I want to get to an even 180. This is all I want to do. Yeah, I might get rid of this one. We got this one already, so. Gonna get rid of it. No, 180. You can't save this because it doesn't make any fucking sense. That's why we're gonna get rid of it. This doesn't make sense. It needs to make sense. If it doesn't make sense, then we have to get rid of it. It needs to make sense. I can't repeat myself. It needs to make sense. If it doesn't make sense, you have to get rid of it. Always make sure these pictures that you're taking make sense. Like, I don't know about keeping this one. I don't want that one. That's a good one though. Monica. See, like, how do we have a picture of him at the tomb, and then a picture of him before we even got to the tomb? Like, what, did he take the picture on the way back? I mean, why would he... How is that possible? He dropped this off at the dungeon and left. I just find this weird, like, doesn't make sense. It's not possible. That was when we got to the tomb. This is before the tomb. But this one came first. It's weird. Doesn't make much sense. It's like they reorder them on their own sometimes. And they do. It's very strange. We have 178. If I could bring it down to 175, I wouldn't be bad. I wouldn't mind. Should I get rid of this? I'm thinking about it. Yeah, I'm gonna get rid of it. Doesn't say much. I've got a bunch of other good pictures. I'm trying to bring it down to 175 now. Which means only 2 more pictures to go. Which technically means we can get rid of that picture we wanted to get rid of. These two. I'm gonna get rid of them because they're not really doing it for me. It's a good picture though. I might get rid of that one though. Because we have one of Gladiolus right there. He's obsessed with Gladiolus, I think. Prompto? He's totally obsessed with Gladio. He really is. He's constantly taking pictures of him. If you haven't noticed, you'll see Gladiolus constantly in photos. Either he's a camera hogger, or... But it just looks like Prompto constantly takes... See, he's always on there, all the time. Like, Gladiolus is always stealing the spotlight. Within a few more, I'm sure he'll pop up again. It wasn't until around this time that it started changing, actually. Finally. But, nope, here he is again. But it did start changing around this time, though. Oh, nope, there he is again. Maybe it was after... we got to the... after we got Titan, it changed. Perhaps. like that. So weird. We're at 175, we're good. Alright, let's go back. Oh, look at that. Really purple hair in that picture. It's pretty cool. That's an awesome picture. That one's not bad either. Good picture. I'm not gonna lie, that one's not bad either. That one's very, very interesting, and I'm gonna keep it. Well, what the fuck is this? It's weird. Why would he be... That doesn't make any sense, that picture. I think this makes more sense. It's a cool picture, but it doesn't make sense. Like, he's wielding two daggers in one hand, but not fighting any enemies. It's just weird. Good photo, but I don't know what it is. Unfortunately. If I knew what it was, it'd be different, but I don't, so... I'm not gonna say something I don't know what the hell it is.
All right, move out.
Yeah.
Huh. Camping. Again.
Well, you got a problem with camping?
I made the wrong shit. Should probably make HP boost, critical boost. Oh. I should probably go with something like... That's actually not bad. break it. Only because it's Claudio's favorite. Alright, this is where I'm gonna end my video, and I will continue this in my next video, where we'll do some side quests and do what we gotta do to continue forward. Thanks for watching, guys. And yep, hope you enjoyed the video. I will be broadcasting again the next time, and it'll be covering the Mammon Thicket and probably some side quests and basically just combat in general with Iris in the group and what you could do with her. So hopefully you'll come and take a peek and come check it out. Alright, thanks for watching, guys.